Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining my Jira training session today. Today, I'm going to be walking you through how to set up your project area in terms of configuring your issue type schemas or screen schemas if you are trying to do that in your organization. So today, I do have a user that we're going to be doing like a live training and walking her through how to get this set up in her organization. So thank you very much for joining. But before we start, if you haven't subscribed, liked, or shared my video, please remember to do that. So you'll probably be the first to get notified once a new video is live. Also, this is the first training that I'm walking through. So remember, if you have the same issues or there's anything you're trying to do in your organization and you need help in terms of setting up, or you even have a question, remember, you can always contact me or reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to help you. So thank you today for joining, and we'll be starting right now. So Yvette, I'm going to be, I'll make you the host so that rather than me share my screen, you can share your screen and walk me through the system, what you need help with today, and then we can start that way. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's fine.
So I would make you the host.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go, Yvette. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
So today we're going to be walking Yvette through how to set up an issue type screen schema and how to connect the screens to the issue type schema. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So this is going to be quite a lengthy, it's not short, it's not going to be brief because there are different steps that you need to do. So please follow. And if you have any questions after this training or there's something still not clear, please remember you can always reach out to me and we can work something out for you. Okay, so Yvette, so this is your project, I presume?
Yes. So I've created this.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to my project settings and my issue types.
Okay, so for all the issue types you already have on your screen, are you going to be creating a new issue type and you want to assign that to this schema, or you're trying to modify what's already on the system?
So I would like to modify what's already on the system, and I would like to also add a new issue type and then also modify that screen scheme.
Okay, so can we go into your screen, the section for your screen? Can you click on your screen? You can see that on the left side of your screen. Yes, that's it. Okay, so you've got your story, your feature, tags, and subtags using one screen, and then you have a separate screen you've already created for your blog. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is for this particular task, you already have this already assigned. So I presume we want to create a new issue type, and then we want to one of the issue types, one of the screens on the you're showing on your screen. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So for us to create, so the first thing we would need to do is to make sure you have the new issue type created first. So what you would need to go into your system settings. Right now, what you're sharing on your screen is the project setting. So now you need to go to the system setting, which you would find at the top right corner, the cogwheel yep, that's it. Once you click on that, and then you click on issues system, you can click on any one of those. Okay, so now you're trying to add a new issue type. So you need to add an issue type. Can you see the blue bar at the top right corner? Yep.
Mhm.
And then what's the issue type we're trying to create?
So I believe this issue type already exists. So I can see I don't have epics in this project. So I'd like to add an
Okay,
epic to the project. So I believe that already
okay
exists.
then. Okay, so you don't need to create. The only time you would need to create one if it doesn't exist. So what I
Okay.
say to people, even if you're not sure and you
Mm-hmm.
do have access to the back end system, it's
Mm.
always good for you to check to see if what you're creating or what you require already exists. Otherwise, you'll be creating duplicates in the system. If you go ahead to create an epic, for example, and an epic already exists, that's like having two different issue type called epic that has been created, which would then later cause a lot of confusion in the future for other teams as well. So the first thing you need to do, if you scroll to the top of your screen, you should see like a search bar at the top, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can type whatever issue type you're looking for to see if it, yep. And then once you click on search, and then you can scroll down to look for the epic you're trying to add to your screen.
Okay, so I'm happy to use the portfolio epic.
Okay, so you can click on, if you go to the three dots on the right hand side, you can see the three yes. Okay, so since the issue type already exists, so what you would need to do is go to your, come out, no, you don't need to edit because you're not trying to make any changes to it at all. So you need
Okay.
to click on cancel, and then you would need to go to your project setting because the issue type already exists. So we're not
Okay.
creating anything. So you go back to your issue type.
Okay.
You know the types where it says types on your Jira, it says types in there. For some
Mm-hmm.
people, you issue type, and then you will click on the action button. You can see yep, and then click on edit issue type. Yes. And at this point, you would need to look for the portfolio epic. So you can see that on your screen, you have two different data point. So the first one is what you actually have on your screen, and that's called
Okay.
the issue type current schema. And then
Mm-hmm.
the second type shows you all the available issue types that already exist in the system. So you can just scroll and look for the portfolio epic. Unfortunately, you cannot type. To make it quicker, you would need to scroll down to look for the issue type you're looking for. And sometimes it's not also in alphabetical order, unfortunately.
All the way at the bottom. Okay.
Yes,
So
so
portfolio
that's the
epic.
one. So all you need to, yes, drag and drop, and then you scroll back to the top to make sure you can see that. As you can see, it's not been added, so you need to go back again. Hopefully, it's in the same place. Yeah, drag and then drop in that. You need to scroll. No, don't drop in the gray box because that's not
Okay.
recognized. You need to scroll back up and make sure if you keep going back up.
It doesn't actually scroll back up.
Okay, can you move that to the top?
Okay.
Can you move? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So it needs to be dropped into the white box. Yes. So now if you scroll up,
Okay.
now it's added. And then all you need to do is now scroll down and then click on save. So as you can see, that's now been added to your issue type schema, right? Now, what you need to do is now go to your screens.
Okay. On the left.
Yeah, on the left-hand side. Yes, if you click on the screens there to now see the placement of the portfolio epic. So right now, the portfolio epic has gone to your default schema because every single screen would always have like a default schema. The reason being, when you're creating a new issue type, when you're adding new issue types to your project, if you do not specify the screens you want it to go to, if you don't have that defined, it goes to your defaults by default, it just goes there. Unless, of course, you're now saying you have a specific screen configuration you would like for that issue type, you would then have to create that and then remove the portfolio epic from the default and add to the new screen schemas you would have created. So at this point now, is this what we are trying to achieve, or do you want to create a separate schema for the portfolio epic?
I would like to create a separate schema for the portfolio epic.
Okay, so at this point now, you would need to, what I would tell you to do, kind of like a shortcut, will probably be for you to copy what you have in the the default screen. Can you copy that? Yeah.
This one?
Yes, just copy, have that, and yeah, copy that. Copy, yes. Okay, and have that in your copy. You can copy it somewhere, put in a note or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you would also need, if you click on can you see the drop down? There is kind of like a drop down box next to that. Yes, so click on that. And also you would need to copy the screen default issue screen. Can you see the Scrum default issue screen? It's in the blue.
So I need to copy this down somewhere, right?
Okay. Yes.
So I'm just gonna put that here. And then I'll get rid of this. And then I also need to copy this. With the whole thing, right?
No, you just need one, because the reason why I would tell you to copy just the one, it's probably because I think you need the whole thing, not just the Scrum defaults. Yeah, the whole thing. Yes.
Okay. Now I'll paste that here. Okay.
Okay. The reason why you have 3 in there, right? Every single screen schemas would have 3, because you would have a screen for create, you would have another screen for edit, and you would have another screen for view. In my subsequent videos, I've talked about how you can have different screens defined for your schemas. The reason why some organizations work that way is because at the point of creating an epic, your story, there are certain fields that you would require, whereas it might be different from a bug. So if you might want to put a restriction to your edit screen. So when people go back to edit the screen, you want to restrict some certain behaviors. You want to stop people from being able to make changes to certain fields. That way, you would need to have a different create and a different edit screen. But in most organizations, they usually keep all 3 the same, but only in application, depending on what you guys are trying to achieve, then you can then determine to say the best way to do this is probably because you might want to have your edit screen different from your create screen, so that you can put a lot of automation or rules in place to stop certain behaviors on the edit screen. So for the purpose of this training, we're going to be using the same for all your schemas for the screen. Okay, now that we have both copied, so you would need to go into the setting, the system setting, which is the cogwheel on the right. Okay, and then you would need to click on issues. System will probably be my best choice.
So issues?
Any one of those options you can click on, yes, because it just takes you to the back end. And then right now, the first one you copied was can you take us back to the project again? No,
this project.
So the first one we're trying to do is the screen schema. So if you go back into the system one, yeah. Okay. And then you're going into the screen schema. Can you see that one? Exactly. Yeah. Now you can paste that in there because we want to take a copy of this because it already exists. So once you take a copy of it, it now makes it easier for you to then go into that and then edit because the screens are already defined, is already set up, and then it's easier for you to say you have one or two fields you want to add or remove or, you know, further modify, then it's easier for you to do that. So you can rename this now. You can just call it Epic or your portfolio Epic. And then you take a copy. You edited the name before taking a copy. So if you go back to your the project one again, if you go back to the project and refresh your screen. Okay, so the name didn't change. Okay, so go back to the copied one that you've done now. So now you should have one that is called, what did we call it? JBS Portfolio Epic. Okay. Okay, so that's the one that we've created. So if you now, what you now need to do now is if you click on the screens, can you click on screens? So we've created the schema. So now click on the screens and okay, I wanted you to open it on another tab. So it'll be easier to go back to, because we'll be going back and forth. But that's fine, since you've already done that, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, because you've already taken a copy of what we want to do, so you just look for the, you can paste it in the search bar at the top.
Okay, and
so that will be,
that's this one, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So you take a copy of this and then you just rename it to, you know,
Okay.
okay. So now you need to go back to your screen schema, the one we created, the portfolio Epic one we've created, and then you now need to link that to your screen that we've just created.
Okay, I'm just trying to find it now.
I think it's the first one. And then you can go to the three dots, yeah, and then you click on configure. Okay, and then you need to click on associate issue type. Yep. So we're doing the create issue type. So that's the create. Now on the second drop down, not where you are yet. So you now need to look for the screen that we created, which is the one with the Epic. Yes, that's the one you've done. Yeah. And then you click on add. Okay, you need to do the same. So that's for, which one did we do? That was for create. You need to do create and view. So it's already there by default. So just look for the screen. So if we had created separate screens for all of them, so this is where it comes in handy because you can then have different screens for all, you know, your create, your edit, and then your edit. So now the way it's going to work is if you need to make any changes to the screen, you don't need to go to all three. once you make a change on one of them, that change would apply on all three screens because they're the same screen we've created. But if you have three different screens, if you made a change in create, you would need to go into your edit screen. If you want the same change to apply to the edit screen, you would need to go into the edit screen to make the change as well. So now that you've done all, so you've linked your screen to your screen schemas. Now we would need to link the screen schema to our issue type schema. So if you remember at the beginning, we are not making changes to the issue type schema because everything stays the same. So we have different scenarios where you would need to also take a copy of the issue type screen schema, issue type schema if we are trying to make a change to it and you don't want it affecting anybody sharing the same configuration with you. But that's not the case for your project. So you can just go straight away to issue type screen schema. Can you see on the blue? Yeah, if you click on that. Okay, now we need to look for your issue type screen schema. So you need to go back to your project. Is it this one? Yep, okay, and then you need to click on configure. Yeah, on the three dot, yep. And then you would need to add associate. So what issue type? So our issue type is the portfolio epic. Yep. And then you now need to look for your screen schema. I think it's the one that had to do with portfolio epic. That one, yes, that's the right one. I think, yeah. And then you can click on add. And then that's you done. So now what you need to do is go back to your project. And then you refresh your screen. Okay, so now you can see you now have 3 screen schemas, whereas previously you had only 2, but now you have 3 because now your portfolio epic has its own schema, so you can further modify and make changes as you see fit without it affecting the other issue types that you have in there. So that's you done. I think that's you making all the changes. So remember, before making changes, very, very important, before you make changes to any of your schemas, any of your configuration, you need to make sure that you are not sharing schemas with any other projects, because any changes you make would affect everybody using that same schema. So it's always important.
And how do I make sure that no other project is using this schema?
Okay, so on your screen, if you see where it says, when you come to this part of your screen, because right now this schema is not being shared, it would show you in there next to your screen schema, it would show you it's been shared by 5 projects, 3 projects.
So,
you would see
right
it.
here would show me here. Okay.
Yes, at the right hand side.
Okay. Yeah.
If your issue type schema is also being shared, it would show next to it shared with 5, 20, 100 other projects.
Right.
So you need to make sure you always check first to make sure that it's not being shared. In some cases, the issue type schema might not be shared with any project, or your screen schemas might be shared with other projects. It might be just one of your screen that is shared. It might be all of them. So you need to always check to make sure that whatever changes you're making would have a huge impact on everybody using the same schema. So you need to disassociate your projects from those other projects before you make changes if it's been shared.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. That's it. Thank you very much. If you have any other question or any other concern, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help.
I will definitely be back with more questions, but this has been very helpful. Thank you very much.
you. Thank you. I'll take back the host now.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much for reaching out to me. I'm more than happy to help. So if you have any other questions, please remember you can reach out to me. And for you, my viewers and my lovers, please remember that you can always ask any question. If there's anything you're trying to do, reach out to me, give me, a ping or leave me a comment in the comment section and I will get back to you. And remember, subscribe, and also share. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.